much, Debbie. First, I have a message from bill.brand, our mayor of Redondo Beach City. Mayor Brand regrets not being able to join us today due to another council meeting. He wishes to thank the service organization for their contribution to the city of Redondo Beach and the care and support they provide to the community. He also mentioned many other organizations that are not here with us today simply due to time constraint, such as the Elks Club, the Kiwanis Redondo Beach, Keep the Esplanade Beautiful, the South Bay Parkland Conservancy, and many more, and has asked that maybe the friend can orchestrate a day where all these groups present here today and many other in Redondo Beach can meet together, maybe eventually in person, and see how we are serving our beautiful city. The goal of the meeting is to learn, this meeting here tonight is to learn about our city service group and to find ways to collaborate and help each other. And I think we will realize that we could really achieve more by working together. I would like to introduce our first speaker. We were together at the same class of Leadership Redondo, and Craig Funabashi is currently the president of the Redondo Beach Roundtable. Craig, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Nina. Yes, I remember the 2008 class of Leadership Redondo quite fondly, and it's nice through that organization and my participation in their program to look around at all the faces tonight at tonight's meeting and see so many familiar faces. So it's great to be with you this evening. So yes, I am this year's president of the Redondo Beach Roundtable. In previous years, I've been the secretary. Actually, due to COVID, normally it would be maybe a 1 or a 2 year term, but I've been secretary for about the last 4 years, and became a member of the Roundtable probably back in 2008 or 9, I want to say, as a result of some of my volunteer work, both at that time being a historical commissioner and then coming off of the Leadership Redondo program, and then subsequently coordinating that program for a number of years. So I probably won't need the full 10 minutes, but I'll give you kind of a quick overview. The Roundtable is kind of neat in that it was started in 1963, and it was started by the League of California Cities to kind of fill a void of what was perceived in finding future leaders for our cities, you know, people to get active politically, perhaps run for office. And so back in 63, the city of Redondo Beach, like many other cities, applied for a grant to start this program. It was supported essentially by the city of Redondo Beach, the then editor of the South Bay Daily Breeze, the then superintendent of our South Bay High School district, and the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. But it really was kind of brought in by the city. And the idea was to put together a group of individuals. It was 60 individuals at that time that included the mayor, our 5 council people. We had 2 directors at large, but also comprised.
I tried.
And to also include some of
how many people showed
our
up
leadership. There were other members that were comprised from the now superintendent of school districts, our city manager, our city attorney, our treasurer, our secretary, and other leaders in the community. But that's our core group of the leadership. But then there are some 60 members total that are chosen from different service groups, many of which are represented today. Because the whole idea was to have quarterly meetings, which many of you actually, I believe, have attended, that it would have a timely topic on a subject really important to Redondo Beach. And the group come together at these quarterly meetings. Usually there'll be a presenter. And in some instances, it might be a contentious, heart of the city kind of stuff or development kind of stuff. We've always tried to present both sides of a particular issue without taking any particular sides, but obviously allowing this group to get direct presentations to then be able to take back to their groups. So the influence that it has, I think, throughout the community is really important. And that's really kind of the gist of it. So the only a few other things I wanted to share is that it is obviously comprised of members from our Redondo Beach community. So generally you live in Redondo, or you have a business here, or you work here. And as I said, an amount of the leadership is comprised of our city leadership, both elected and some of our high staff members like the city manager and whatnot. So some of the programs they've done in the past include a youth counseling center at the Redondo Beach Library, a mental health clinic and crisis clinic. These are the early days back in the 60s. They even started a drama and fine arts program to young people in the community. And we're even involved in procuring the old Nike missile site that we know is Wilderness Park to convert that over to a community center and suitable recreation facilities like we see today. They also established an adult career review and job development center, and were instrumental in instituting the Police Medal of Honor Awards banquet that we have every year, modeled after the one in New York City. So more recent topics have been when marijuana was first legalized in California not too many years ago. Chief Kaufman came in and spoke to our group. We had Alan Sanford, the promoter of beach life, come in when that was, before the first big event. Future events will include a speaker from the LA World Airports will come and speak to us about the development. If you've been to LAX, the airport, you've seen the people mover and all the different things going on there. So we've got a lot of ideas for these future programs. Again, so that you get updated information or current information on issues that are important to us here in Redondo Beach, so that you can then take it back to your group, whether it's the Women's Club or Rotary or Elks or any of the other organizations. And obviously we do have a core group of members, but I would say that all of you would be welcome as guests. I would make it a point, obviously, to send out invitations. We do ask for reservations in advance, and there is generally a $30 lunch fee. It's usually these quarterly. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. So we obviously were on a bit of a hiatus. We did not meet for 2 years due to COVID. So the leadership has continued to meet as a board of directors through Zoom meetings to kind of get things going on in the background. But we are looking to kick off, keeping our fingers crossed, a first general orientation meeting for our current membership this March, and the LA World Airport and some of the more meaty subjects that we'll get into will probably proceed going forward in June. So I'll keep all of you apprised to that effect, and obviously we'll want to extend invitations so you can come out to a luncheon meeting and kind of see what those are like. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Craig. So our next speaker is the president of Redondo Beach Ed Foundation. I have to just take the spot of our superintendent, Dr. Keller, and say that I have 4 children who graduated from Redondo Union High School, and it is the best district in the whole world. So Doris, Donlou-Richmond, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Doris Donlou-Richmond. I am the president of the Redondo Beach Educational Foundation, and I thank all of you for having me here tonight to talk about our organization. A little bit about me. I'm a 3rd generation Redondo Beach resident. My grandparents immigrated from Greece to Redondo Beach in the 1930s, where they set roots here. And since neither of my grandparents had a formal education, they really stressed the importance of it to their son, my father, who not only graduated from our Redondo School District, but also came back to work in our Redondo Public Schools his entire career as a teacher. Fast forward a few years, and I also became a proud graduate of our Redondo Public Schools. And now my 3 sons are in this district, with my oldest 2, who are twins, ready to graduate from RUHS next year. So needless to say, public school education, particularly in Redondo Beach, has always meant a lot to my family and our legacy here in Redondo, which is what brings me here tonight as the proud president of RBF, the Redondo Beach Educational Foundation. I have been with RBF for the past 11 years, the last 4 of which I've been on the Board of Trustees. And to put it in its most basic terms, RBF is a nonprofit organization that raises money for public education in all of our Redondo public schools. So you might be wondering, why do we need to do that? Well, 30 years ago, a small group of concerned parents noticed a drop in public funding to our school district was resulting in our students losing programs. These programs were not necessarily core curriculum. They weren't reading or writing or arithmetic, but they were those extras that we all know are essential to a well-rounded education. These included music programs, art programs, science programs, and even PE at the elementary schools. This is why RBF was formed, and we stepped in to fill the gap so we could help our Redondo Beach Unified School District provide the additional teachers and extra curriculum for our students so they can receive amazing educational opportunities above and beyond the bare minimum. Our grants allow us to ensure RBUSD can offer our students the highest level of a well-rounded educational experience, which that is their goal, and that's what they want for our students, and they have achieved that. If you've had kids in this district, you know that that is true. Over the years, RBF has funded 1st through 4th grade vocal music teachers, 5th grade band teachers, instruments and instrument repair, elementary PE teachers, robotics at all levels, teacher grants, math and literacy coaches, staff development, esports programs at the middle and high schools, intramural sports, counseling, college readiness programs, PSAT, scholarships, and cultural and college field trips. During the height of COVID, like everyone else, we had to pivot, and we were able to step in to fund much needed technology support and extra counseling for students who needed that extra support during that time. So a question I get very often is, how does RBF choose the programs that go to the schools? Well, RBF does not choose the programs. There's a reason RBUSD was rated number 6 in Los Angeles County and number 14 in the state for public schools. It's because our school district is amazing and they really know what they're doing. So we trust them to make those educational decisions for our students, and we raise the money so they can do that. Now, with that being said, each year RBUSD provides RBF with a list of programs the district is seeking funding for the following school year, and they ask us for the money to fund those teachers and programs. This request then determines our annual fundraising goal, which we achieve through a variety of ways. We achieve it through parent donations, business partners, grants, and annual events like our spring gala, our community classic golf tournament, which is in November, Skechers Friendship Walk in October, and our biggest fundraising event, which is our annual investor drive. Now our investor drive happens all year round, but in September, we have a 2-week blitz where we make our biggest push for donations from our parents and our community. And you might have even seen our banners up at major intersections throughout the city during that time. We've also been chosen as a charity of choice for Beach Life, which is really a nice way for us to get our name out, and we enjoy that partnership a lot. So now when we fund programs for the districts, it's always across all schools. It's never one school gets this program or another school gets that program. For instance, when we fund 5th grade band, it's for all 5th grades at all of our elementary schools. Likewise, when we fund the 8th grade PSAT, it's at both middle schools. And the reason for this is so all of our students have equitable access to these programs, just like they do with their core curriculum. Because in the end, all of our students, no matter what elementary or middle school they go to, will all end up at our one shining high school by the sea, and our district wants them to get there having all had the same opportunities across the board. So this school year, I'm proud to say that RBF was able to grant $1,028,000 to our Redondo Beach Unified School District. And this may only represent 1% of the district budget, but we like to think it's one of the most impactful percents because of the depth and the creativity of the programs we're able to fund. Honestly, each year we just seek to raise more and more money, because the more money we raise, the more programs we can fund, which means an even greater impact on our students and an even more well-rounded education. Most people are very familiar with PTA. Many of you might have been in PTA or are in PTA. I often get the question, what's the difference between PTA and RBF? And the simple answer is PTA is an advocacy group. Joining PTA gives our parents and our district a voice at the state level to bring change to laws about education, and PTA also supports specific programs, including field trips and assemblies and teacher supplies and community events. All of these are also crucial for our students, but the one thing PTA cannot do is pay for instructional staff and programs. RBF is the only organization that can actually do that, which is why we always encourage support for both of our organizations. We pride ourselves on working very closely with one another to support our children, and we believe that helps aid in the success of RBUSD. Now, as far as the structure of RBF, we are made up of our board of trustees who are all current or former parents in the district, and we're all very active members in our community. We also have site advocates who are not on our board, but they are parent representatives that are present at every school campus to help us spread the word for all of our various initiatives. I actually started as a site advocate myself, so I can tell you we are all volunteers who are just really super passionate and believe in education and giving our students the best education. If you've ever seen our RBF logo, you'll see that our tagline is our kids, our community, our legacy. And these three principles really guide everything that we do with the foundation. RBF exists to provide seeds of opportunity for our kids from their first day of kindergarten to their last day of high school. And why? Because these kids, these students are the future of our community. They will be the ones running our cities, our businesses, and the world one day. So when they thrive, we know our communities will prosper, and RBF is honored to provide them with the best, most creative and well-rounded education possible now, because in the end, their future will be all of our legacy. If we have a website, if you'd like to find out more about our organization, it's rbf.org. You can always reach out to me personally at doris@rbf.org. I love talking with our community and sharing our mission. I've been doing it for a long time, and I love Redondo, so please feel free to reach out to me at any time. And on a side note, my mom is also an oil painter and a sculptress, so I grew up heavily surrounded by the arts, and being able to share our mission with your group tonight is a great honor for me. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you,
Right.
Doris.
Thank you so much. It is from experience, I can tell, a wonderful school district, and all the help you give the district is, as you said, probably the most important part. So thank you very much. And we will keep on with President of the Rotary Club of Redondo Beach. I believe it's South Redondo, I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Nancy Weisel, where are
We're
you?
actually the only one in Redondo Beach now.
But weren't they two before?
They belong to, I think long before I came, but we're only one
Okay.
right now. As you said, my name is Nancy Weisel. I'm the president of Redondo Beach Rotary. And I think the best place to start would be a history of Rotary, because honestly, when I first joined, I didn't know anything about it either. Rotary was started in 1905 by a gentleman named Paul Harris, who was a businessman in Chicago. And what he did was he gathered a number of business professionals, all men, I might add. And the goal was to exchange ideas and to develop lasting relationships. And in 1907, they funded their first project. They called it a personal comfort station. But basically, they built the first public bathroom for women. And that was in 1907. Right now, in terms of Rotary worldwide, there are 1.2 million members, over 46,000 clubs in over 200 countries. And I don't know about you, I don't think I could name 50 countries right now, certainly not 200. So we are very much a worldwide organization. We are 100% volunteer. Although I keep telling them that they need to triple or quadruple my salary because this is getting out of control. We've set up, after World War II, one of the largest scholarship programs, and right now it's called the Rotary Peace Centers, but they are set up in 7 different universities, all in different countries, where they fund 50 master's degrees and 50 professional certificates every year. So they're big in education. Now there are 7 major areas of focus worldwide. And I'll explain where it all coordinates with our fund, and I've got it right. Promoting peace, which is the main focus of everything Rotary does. fighting disease. I don't know if you're aware, but polio has now been wiped out 99.9% of the world. It is only left in 2 countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. And that was a big part of Rotary. We started in the late mid 1900s, and it's now almost completely eradicated. And we're very involved, and we raise a lot of money for that. Providing clean water, saving mothers and children, supporting education, growing local economies, and protecting the environment. Some of the areas that our club focuses on in Redondo Beach locally, attacking food insecurity, fighting domestic violence, uplifting families, and building community. Each club that Rotary has 5 avenues of service, and this is worldwide. Community service, so here in Redondo Beach and the LA area, it's the largest. We deliver Meals on Wheels. We help distribute meals through the Salvation Army of Thanksgiving. We support the Salvation Army every year, where we help fund backpacks. We work a lot with the police department and donate money, and also work with some of the places. They have I used to call it the domestic abuse division, and they said, no, we are the domestic abuse elimination group. So we work a lot with them. And when they get calls from the police officers and have someone come in who has a problem, either domestic abuse or someone with a drug issue, they have a number of shelters that they send people to. So we go ahead and we help support those shelters. That's community service. That's everything we do locally. We help support first responders. We donate money to a lot of different groups. We've gotten involved. We're getting more and more involved in children trafficking, human trafficking, because that's something that's actually starting to come here into the LA area and into downtown, and we see it in some of the local shelters. On the international basis, we have an international, again, another avenue of service. We work a lot in getting clean water. But one of the projects that we've recently worked on is we work with a bishop in Kenya. He's in Kenya, and he runs a school for young girls who generally were not allowed to get education. And what he found was that every month when they were going through their menstrual cycle, they didn't come to school for 4 or 5 days because they had no access to any sanitary products. So we went ahead and we funded that. We sent them a check and helped them purchase that. So we do a lot internationally. We work on we have another group called Vocational Services, and we're involved in what they call the Pageant of the Arts. It's something that the Rotary, our district, works with, and the district covers a big part of LA, up towards through Westlake Village and down into just before Orange County. And what we do is we work with Redondo High School, and we're doing what they call the Pageant of the Arts. So we actually just received applications with, we used to do it face-to-face, now we do it online, where we get pieces of art that the students have created. And then we go ahead and we look at these pieces and we vote for the first 3. They go to the district, and the district funds scholarships. So we're involved in that. We have what we call youth services, which just keeps expanding on a regular basis. The woman who is the chairperson of that had to deal a lot with COVID because nobody was in school. But Rotary, going back 3 years and probably going forward, like our club hosts an international exchange student, and a lot of the clubs do, and they all get together and the students meet and they go to our local schools. So what this woman has done is she does conference calls. She has a number of high school students that she works with, but she'll do a call every week, and she'll get students from all over the world, and they talk about what's going on in their world. And some of them are in places where there's wars, other places where they don't have enough food, and they talk a lot about that, which is very interesting. So we work a lot with the youth. The other thing we're doing with the schools is we've created this, we call them mini grants. And we work with the principals in the district, and it's not a lot, maybe 10 or 12, but the teachers fill out applications and we give them $250, which they can use if they need to buy books or paper goods or things that, teachers are always funding something out of their pocket. So we do this to help them. We do money. We also work even through vocational services. We do a lot with some of the local community colleges because we found out that a lot of the students are going hungry or their families are going hungry. So we help support the food banks and deliver food and deliver checks there. So those are just some of the areas that we have that we're very involved in. And then one is, we call it club service. We meet once a week. For the past 2 years, it's been almost all Zoom. I'm really lucky because I get to go back and forth depending on what week it is. Sometime everybody wants to meet face to face, and then 2 weeks ago they said no, and now tomorrow we're going to meet face to face. But we have speakers, and I know you mentioned having someone from the airport. We had the CEO of the airport speak with us for a week, and it was fascinating, telling us what they're doing. And I don't know if you've been to the airport lately. It's like going into a rat maze. Each day you go there, each time you go, one road is closed, one parking lot is closed. You just don't know where you're going to go because they're doing it every day. Membership for Rotary is by invitation only. But what's in, so everyone recommends somebody. But what's interesting is we don't care about religion. We don't care about politics. We don't care about anything, provided you want to be involved. My story is I retired in February of 2018. And been living here now I've been here 26 years. So I was living here 22 years. And there were 3 things I wanted to do when I retired. One was to get in shape. The other was to be able to wear multicolored nail polish. And the third was to volunteer. And I learned very quickly, it's very hard to volunteer by yourself. It's very hard to find a place that wants to take you. It's very hard to know what to do. And I heard the name Rotary, didn't know anything about them. And I sent an email to Rotary International, and they forwarded it to our membership chair here in Redondo Beach. We went out a couple of times. I said to her, I'm not looking for a social organization. I just want to volunteer. And before you know it, I joined. I was head of community service. Then I was president-elect, and now I'm the president. And honestly, this is my second family. Everyone is so supportive. Everyone wants to help. Everyone is here as a volunteer, and all we want to do is make things better. We do a lot. I actually have a page, and so I can remember them all. One of the things we do is we work with the South Bay Health Center with something called Vision to Learn, where we look at low-income students. And what we're able to do is we do an initial screen. We can tell if they need more care on their eyes. And we have what look like moving vans in the parking lot. And each one has an eye doctor in there. They do a complete exam. They have a prescription, and they let the students pick out their own frames. And then we deliver them to the schools. We have another, one of our club members is a dentist, and twice a year we donate, and he also goes over a weekend and does free dental care for students. So a lot of what we're doing is trying to support the community and do what we can. And that's just a handful of what we're doing. The main thing that Rotary is all about, which I think is really interesting, is this is what it looks like. It's called the FourWay Test. And everything that we do, we sit back, and it's starting to be part of my brain.
Nancy, Patty's giving you your winding up time.
All right, all I'm doing is four sentences. One is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And that's what Rotary is about.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that you find out really that when you volunteer with a group of people towards something you're very passionate about, just like Nancy said, they become your friends for life. They become your second family, and you discover a relationship you wouldn't otherwise. So now I am very happy to introduce the Executive Director of Friendship Foundation, Rabbi Yossi Mintz. Your turn.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Nina. It's a pleasure to be here. and to have a few moments with you. So just a little bit, just quickly about what we do, what's going on in the community, what's happening here in Redondo Beach specifically, and what does that have to do with the arts. This organization started a little over 15 years ago, basically bringing together neurotypical and typical children together. We started off in the high schools, that no child sits alone, has an opportunity to engage in real, true friendship, organic friendship. And it's been very successful. Today, we're in over 45 different schools, from Manhattan Beach through the beach to El Segundo, all the way through Palos Verdes and east through Harbor City, Lenox, Hawthorne, Englewood, et cetera, and it's growing. We do many other activities and programs, but the biggest challenge we faced was what happens when these kids grow older and basically they could stay in school through 22 years old. What happens afterwards? That was one of the challenges we faced. I know we work together with Doris. We have the big Sketches Friendship Walk every year, which we started some time ago. And it really generates, and thank God for Redondo, because you've been coming in very strong. And it's a big success. And, we're based out of Redondo Beach. And what's amazing about it in the new phase, I just want to jump right into time constraint of what's happening right now. Through the Redondo Beach School District, we were able to acquire property, the Franklin Park site, which is on Englewood Avenue, right across the street from the district, a little bit up the street. It's a large piece of land. The superintendent, Steve Keller, was in my office a few years ago, and he says, Yossi, I have a spot for you. Through back and forth, we're able to pull it off and finally get it under our control. And we're right now in the process of, we were hopefully going to start February, but now it looks like more of early April due to COVID. Everything was held up with permitting. We're starting the construction of the Friendship Campus, which is a just under 70,000 square foot facility. And the emphasis is going to be, it's really going to be state of the art. We have the largest architectural firm, Gensler, overseeing the entire project. We have Saatchi and Saatchi doing all our marketing. And it engaged a lot of people on many different levels, specifically in the arts, because these children, as become young adults, really have a creative side to them if we just give them the opportunity. And in this new campus is going to be what happens to these children when they become adults, what happened to their future. Ask any parent, and if you don't have to go far, we all have, know of children and young adults on the spectrum. They don't do well in a first interview. When they come into HR to get a job, it just doesn't go. We want to give them the opportunity really to engage very large companies, which we're very blessed with in our community. Just here in the South Bay, within a 25-mile radius, some of the largest Fortune 500 companies in the world are situated, to employ young adults on the spectrum for a better bottom line. That means if we engage them and work with them, it really could make a difference in the lives of these kids. Understandably, just in LA County, there's over 10 million people. Right now, just on the autistic spectrum, there's 1 of every 47 born are on the spectrum. That's just in the autistic spectrum. So we're talking about in an average year, we're talking about there's 200,000 to 300,000 young adults that are unemployed, and they have over 90% of them are unemployed or underemployed. And here's an opportunity to really engage. We were able to, a fascinating story through 60 Minutes. There was an episode through Vanderbilt University, the Frisk Center at Vanderbilt, how they're engaging young adults on the spectrum and a creative, really getting involved in some of the cutting edge technology and et cetera, in the arts. And we searched all over the world, literally over the world, and we came with the best practices, and we're bringing it right here to Redondo Beach. One of the biggest rooms in here is going to be an art center, dealing and working together in all different forms of art. And we'd love to find a way that we can engage together. It's a $40 million campus. It's hard to believe that that's what the cost is. But the good news is that we've raised the money. We've raised pretty much, we're up to around $38 million right now that we're committed. Some of the larger companies here in town, and we had miracles along the way that literally came in. We had a foundation that just heard about us, called us up and said, we want to get involved, and gave us $5 million. We had another family, a local Redondo Beach family, just before the end of the year, just donated also $5 million. So, you know, there's a lot of good people out there. We lived in a blessed community. It's really, and there's going to be many other technology in arts and kitchen and culinary. And it's what's beautiful about it. It's really be a circle. It's going to bring in the senior population that, you know, people, thank God, are living longer and really have the ability to offer so much. So we want them to be involved. There's going to be a gym. There's going to be a restaurant. There's going to be a kitchen. There's going to be state of the art, everything we're working with. And we'd love to engage and work with you and learn with you and really make this a shining light for our community. We were lucky enough that Redondo Beach is going to be the center of it. We have every major sports team right now involved, from the Lakers to the Rams to the Clippers to the Chargers, our Kings, all involved with us on different levels. And they're coming to us now that they want to be a part, because this is not just a effect and an impact here in Redondo Beach. This is going to be a paradigm shift entirely for the nation, what we could do with these young adults. And people always ask me, you know, what engaged me to get involved? This is a non-religious, this is non-denominational, it's for all kids. We have today, before our program is even opened, we have over 2,000 young adults and children involved in our program, with over 50 programs on a monthly basis. And it started right here in our community because the need was there. Not that I have any specific children that are on the spectrum, but I consider myself on the spectrum. We all have our own special needs and our own things that talk to us and make us unique. If we could just come together, and really, it brings together every facet of life, every religion, every background, every school, young, old, really for one cause, making a difference in the lives of another human being. And I'm proud to say I live here in Redondo, I work here in Redondo, and the flagship is going to be here in Redondo. To learn more about it, you're welcome to reach out. We'd love to have you as our partner, as our friend, and let's make a difference in the lives of one, and even so much more, many more. Thank you so much for giving me the stage for a few minutes.
Thank you very much. We're very excited that Redondo Beach will be the home for such a great structure. I saw the design, it looks beautiful, and I know it will be a warm place for anybody who needs it. Our next speaker, Lenore Wasserstone, Ways and Means Vice President for the Women's Club, Redondo Beach. I have to say that one of the reasons that the Friends of Redondo Beach Arts exist is because the women of their club came and helped us in one of our very big exhibition, The Power of Art, at the AAS Power Plant in 2006. And realized that there is a need for a group that supports the arts, not just a group of artists. And really that this is one of the reasons our group came to be. So Lemore, please let us know a little bit about your group.
Hi, so Lemore, thank you so much for having me. And I'm so glad already to take the stage with such positive praise about our club. So thank you for that kind introduction. So basically, the Women's Club of Redondo Beach, as you can see, started out as really an organization of women who saw a need and really stepped up to do something and to really reach out. So our club was founded in 1908 by a group of local women who really wanted to help the community, uplift their spirits, uplift anybody who needed assistance. And basically, we continue to do that today. Our organization is a service-driven organization based solely on volunteers, and we focus on supporting the community with many projects. We are empowering women. We invite women in to speak to our club and offer, their services and advice. We are always looking for new resources and projects within the community. Many of us are involved on so many different levels and so many different clubs and with work, and we see the need that is in the community and we bring it about by helping and reaching out. We've really done a lot with our foster youth within the community. We partnered up with the LA County Department of Children and Family Services. We've been working with them for at least the last 13 years. And what we've done with DCFS is really help to fill the gap where foster care does not assist these children. So for example, we have many youth who run away and go see their family of origin, and then they come back, they don't have clothing, they don't have, basically they don't have anything. So the Women's Club has provided clothing, brand new clothing. We have provided gift cards. We do baby showers for teen moms to assist them in welcoming their children into the world. We have helped the homeless community in the city by providing, like there's the pods that were set up by the city for the homeless. We provided them with a brand new refrigerator and something else. My brain isn't working. Refrigerator, some other something, can't remember.
Microwave.
Microwave, that's it. Sheila's with me in the club. Thank you, Sheila. Microwave and all kinds of paper supplies, snacks, anything that they needed, we helped and provided. We partner up with the local high school, Redondo Unified, and provide scholarships for youth every single year. We also work with the police department and always adopt families during the holidays and throughout the year who have experienced homelessness, domestic violence. Basically, we're kind of a one-stop shop. If you know of an organization or a group or individuals within the community who need some uplifting, some services, we come together, we rally around them, and we try and do the best that we can to really help them during that certain circumstance within their life. In addition to that, we have a wonderful clubhouse. I don't know if you guys have seen it or have driven by in the last year. We are at 400 South Broadway. We got a whole new coat of paint, and it's just really spruced up the whole facility. We have meetings there the third Monday of the month. People are always welcome to join. Check us out on our website, Women's Club Redondo Beach. And if you need a space for a wedding, bar mitzvah, bridal shower, anything of the sort, we have our clubhouse available as well. So we are here to support and really just kind of be a friendly face and a service provider within the community. So thank you all for what you do, and we look forward to continuing to partner with you all.
Thank you so much, Limor. It's a beautiful club, and we've held many events there. So keep up the good work.
Awesome, thank you.
Again, I have to say that I have a really, really soft spot for South Bay HandsOn Art. I was the chair in 2000, and I credit my many years of volunteering for this organization for the beginning of my career as an artist and curator. So with great pleasure, I'd like to introduce the chair of South Bay HandsOn Art, Buffy Stoll.
I was about to say I'm not a good speaker. You guys all have spoken so wonderfully. You guys have been great presenters. I feel unworthy. I am not a speaker. I was a math major. So please forgive me. My name is Buffy. I am the current chair for HandsOn Art. So I help coordinate what's going on. And I feel that many of you are from Redondo and may have actually done HandsOn Art like Nina in the past. Our mission is to bring the hands-on art experience to kids in school. So give them projects that they can enjoy, do, learn, touch, feel. They usually involve learning something about an artist or an art technique, special supplies that you wouldn't normally see in the classroom, like charcoal dust or clay, interesting things for them to experience and touch and feel. The way we work is we work with the various schools and the PTAs in our community, because we specialize in Redondo Beach and the neighboring communities. And so we have to coordinate with the principals and the schools and the classes and the teachers, and the PTAs are very, very much involved in this. What we do as the organization is we provide the 6 projects. We provide 6 lessons and training for those 6 lessons. And then what happens is we have docents, they call them docents, they're parent volunteers. So imagine you have your kids' class somebody in that class, somebody's mom, somebody's dad, somebody's grandma will volunteer to be the docent. And that person goes and learns the project and then goes back into the classroom to teach the project. Along with the docent volunteer, we have helper volunteers. So other parents come in and also help during that project because, like I said, the supplies are usually special, things are special. We need a lot of help to get the projects done in the time allotted we have. So for an idea of 6 projects a year, we currently, right now in Redondo, we have about 14 schools. We do from kindergarten all the way up to high school. The same projects, they're just altered a little bit so that the kindergartners can do them and they can be interesting for the high schoolers to do them. So about 14 schools, about 9,000 students. I would say we have about 300 volunteers, docents. So 300 volunteer docents to make this work. And we have even more, 300 plus helpers come in usually to help. And out of the whole year, I would guess we have about, I approximated about 48,000 pieces of artwork hung on refrigerators because of hands-on art. So that's my number. I like to think is we have 48,000 decorations on refrigerators or hallways or doorways or somewhere in this world to make it a happy, artful world, along with, you know, student hallways and stuff like that. I already said that the projects usually have some sort of historical or some sort of lesson to go with them. Sometimes they're just fun to use that new material. Sometimes they're talking about things like Van Gogh or optical illusions or stuff like that. What else was interesting? The kids love it. They get excited to see their parents or their friends' parents come into the classrooms. The teachers love it because they love to see the parents involved with the classroom. And what I've heard is that the people volunteering get to see how much work it is to teach a class. And they have new appreciation for their teachers and what they go through every day. And it gets the community together. I've noticed a lot of you guys talking about getting community, building community. Even though if we could be replaced by a permanent expert art teacher, I mean, that would be great. But I think the community, getting the parents involved, getting the neighbors involved, getting everybody involved is a big part of hands-on art, even though that's not our official mission. Our mission is just to supply art projects to people. But I think the undercore of it, or, you know, the underneath is the community getting together to help bring art to the kids. The funding for it, a lot of it comes from the school's PTAs themselves. So the PTA fundraisers that you do, some of that money that the PTA raises money for, it goes into hands-on art. In addition to our main hands-on art program, we also have something called Reaching Out. It's a subgroup. And what the idea behind that is that we'd end up with extra supplies. We'll have leftover clay, we'll have leftover paint, we'll have leftover paper, whatever. We would take those leftover supplies and volunteers that learn project and go to schools that are more underserved, like in Compton and Lenox. And we take the volunteers and go with those supplies there. That program grew much bigger, so now we get donations. We have fundraisers. We use that money as well to go and help bring those projects. But because of COVID, those are currently on hold right now. We're trying to get through the school right now. Because of the surge, we can't have volunteers back in. So we're kind of rolling with it and getting the Redondo main schools back working before we attempt approaching the other schools as much. But I think that's it. And I'm sure all of you know the importance of art for the kids to do it in school. They're not just having fun. They're learning how to problem solve. They're learning their fine motors. They're learning how to experiment with things to see what brush works with what, you know, paint and all sorts of things. So that's it. That's hands-on art.
Thank
Ciao.
you so much. Thank you so much, Buffy. It's a great, great program.
And you're great. You have wonderful enthusiasm. I love that. Thank you. That's all you need.
There you go. All right, we're moving to Leadership Redondo. I've done it with Craig in 2008. It's a great, great program. And I would like to introduce the Leadership Redondo coordinator, Crystal Williams. And we have a Leadership Redondo class of 2021 member, Penny Versing.
Yay! Good evening, everyone. Such a pleasure to be with you all today. I'm a little bummed. I missed a couple of those presentations. I've been over here troubleshooting some computer issues, but you know, we love technology. So I'm gonna wing it a little bit. I had a colorful presentation for you guys, but I'll be using my iPhone to just detail some items to you. So bear with me, okay? But I just, first of all, wanted to give a shout out to Miss Nina. Thank you for the invitation for today. And then also to Miss Penny, class of 2021, for thinking of me and having me here today as well. So the mission of Leadership Redondo is to connect individuals from the civic, business, and general community together to help strengthen and enhance Redondo. So a brief history of the program: it was established by the former CEO of the Redondo Beach Chamber of Commerce, Marna Smeltzer, and late former councilman John Parsons, and the former commissioner Don Wendell. It is designed to develop knowledgeable community leaders under the premise that the more knowledgeable people they are, that the more that they can assist their community and give to their community and grow the community. So the program overview: on an annual basis, we have a group of typically somewhere between 18 to 20 individuals, and they go through somewhere between a 12 and an 18-month max program. 10 months of that is a curriculum portion, where they visit various areas throughout the city of Redondo and the county. I'll get into some examples of that shortly. They meet typically on the second Friday of every month. And roughly the hours is typically a day-long session when they come together. They start off with an orientation and typically end, or in the middle, they have an overnight retreat where they learn about not only their leadership style, but how to work in harmony with other leadership styles and to develop in that way. Some of the program attendance requirements are, that you have to attend the orientation and the overnight retreat, and then you attend again on a monthly basis. Typically, if you can't miss more than 2 sessions, but it's so fun, you don't want to miss it. So some examples of the class sessions are, again, the history day, where we go out to the Morale House and you learn about the history of Redondo. You get a chance to see a lot of the great photos, and who knew that they had casinos and everything in Redondo, right? So then also we have Economic Development Day. We'll take a trip to Northrop. In this coming year for 2022, I'm hoping, because I'm a former employee of Los Angeles World Airport, to do like an airport airfield tour, which will be great. It's always fun to chase the airplanes on the airfield. And then some other things, we go and we learn about the public schools here. We have an LA County Day where we typically take a visit downtown. We meet our representative with the LA County Board of Supervisors, and then we'll do like a day going to the Disney Concert Hall, and then visit the Metro and things like that. So they learn a little bit of how our relationship between the city and the county works. Other items are visiting the waterfront, learning about King Harbor, and of course our local city government. So meeting our city managers and city council members as well. Some past projects that we've had: I am class of 2012. We helped to fundraise. It's the second CERT trailer for the city of Redondo. but some past projects were, you know, the 9/11 memorial we have here. Our recent class just completed, our recent 2019 class just graduated. They had a delay due to COVID, where they had a memorial for honoring Amador Espinosa. He was a volunteer for many, many years at the Redondo Beach Police Department. We've also had some great art projects, the Redondo Beach Art project with the little bicycles in North Redondo, I believe it is. And then some community gardens as well with Water Smart Gardens. So just some examples there. For this year, we typically start our sessions in January, and that 10-month session goes from January through October. Of course, you know, Omicron, you know, came on in, and so we ended up having to push our start date back. So our 2022 class will actually be starting in September. So if any of you all are interested, and then also if you know anyone who's interested in participating in the program, applications are open. I'm thankful for craigfun. I call him the GOAT. He shies away from that, but he was my leadership coordinator, and he sits on our steering committee. I'm also the steering committee chair, and he's been able to provide some really valuable feedback and just, you know, counsel about moving forward with the program during a challenging time. This program has been in existence for over 20 years now. I think we've officially hit the 20-year mark. And so, you know, during that time, we've had to weather other storms like the 2009 economic downturn. So this is an example of one of those times. We'll survive this one too. So, you know, right? I saw that, Lamar. We'll survive this one too. So, so anyway, those are some examples of what we have going on. If you are a past alumni of the Leadership Redondo, some really great things that we're looking to do among the steering committee, this year and moving forward, we're going to do a lot more engagement with our alumni, hoping to get together a bit more and just engage. And so we can just connect more, and then also connect with the future classes coming in. We also have some openings on our steering committee. So if any of you are, you know, interested in that, or, you know, other alumni who are interested in serving the community in this way and helping, you know, individuals, you know, learn about leadership in the city and to really engage, you know, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll put my information in my email in the chat so that you can have that. And if you're interested in that, you're be welcome to join our steering committee meeting. So I think that was like the lightning round on my presentation. I think I covered everything. I kind of like the high points. I know I had much more because I had a lot of photos in my presentation, but you know, I'll be here if you guys have any other questions. And I know Penny, you want to share about, you know, your experience, and tell them about, you know, Adventureplex, and, you know.
Well, I have to say, I was a little jealous when she was talking about, you know, going to see Disney Hall and going to see the waterfront and going to see. Most of our class was virtual this year, so I think we win the prize for being the most unusual class.
Yeah, tough class, yes.
But the project that we looked at several projects, and I actually reached out to some of the members of Friends of Redondo Beach when we were looking at them. The project that we've settled on, although it hasn't been approved by the city yet, is to do some work at the pallet shelters there in North Redondo. We're actually trying to call them tiny homes. I think that sounds better than pallet shelter. So it's great to hear that the women's club did some work there. So I might reach out to you for some ideas. But depending on how much money we raise, it will be, it's scalable. So if we raise a lot of money, we will buy some additional pallet shelters. We would like to add some shaded areas and some seating like picnic tables outdoors. and some art. I don't know if you've seen the tiny homes in northern LA County somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where they're located, but they're gorgeous and they're painted and they're just so, friendly and engaging. So, so if we get approval from the city, I will probably be reaching out to some of you and or obviously the Public Arts Commission to get some ideas, because I am an engineer. I am not an artist, but we would love to be able to work with you if and when we get the city's approval for our project.
Thank you, Penny, so much. And thank you, Crystal. It's a great program. We love it.
Thank you.
And we are going to move on to our last speaker. And as I'm listening to you all, I realize we did not introduce ourselves and what we do. So I would take 5 minutes, Patty, after our last speaker to talk about Friends of Redondo Beach Arts. So Public Relations Director for the Cancer Support Community South Bay, I'd like to introduce Doris.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I've been a Redondo Beach resident now for like 30 years. And so it's really great. I didn't know about all of these wonderful organizations. So some of them I did, but it's so great to hear about all of them. And so thank you so much for inviting me, Nina, and allowing me to share about our organization. Cancer is a word that nobody likes to hear, but unfortunately, it's touched nearly everyone in some way, including my own family, as I'm sure it has for many of you as well. And that's why I would like to tell you a little bit about the Cancer Support Community South Bay, because we in the South Bay are very fortunate that we not only have excellent medical care available here, but we also have an organization where people can go for free emotional support, which scientific studies have proved can increase the quality of life and even increase survival. Cancer Support Community South Bay is a nonprofit organization serving the entire South Bay, Long Beach and Orange County areas. We formerly were located on the Redondo Beach Pier for more than 34 years. And in that time, the cancer support community served nearly 25,000 individuals impacted by cancer, all completely free of charge. We recently changed our name from Cancer Support Community Redondo Beach to Cancer Support Community South Bay to reflect our broader reach. And we've also relocated to a new facility at the Rolling Hills Plaza in Torrance. But we plan to keep our longtime connections to the pier and Redondo Beach. We are with some of our outdoor programming that we are still planning to have on the Redondo Beach Pier. Our mission is to ensure that all people impacted by cancer are empowered by knowledge, strengthened by action, and sustained by community. We are part of a global network of 170 other cancer support community locations worldwide, and each is an affiliate of a standalone, each affiliate is a standalone nonprofit. Cancer Support Community South Bay is not funded by any government agencies or major cancer organizations such as the American Cancer Society, but we're supported solely through the generous contributions of individuals, corporations, foundations, and fundraising events to fund our programs. We serve people with all types of cancer at any stage of disease. We serve the loved ones and the caregivers of people with cancer. We serve people of all ages, including the kids and teens of those affected by cancer. People can really enhance their quality of life by finding hope and friendship and caring, while also being educated in a supportive atmosphere with others who are going through a similar situation. And again, all of these services are provided at no cost to the participant. CSC South Bay offers 200 free support programs per month. And at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, we quickly worked to transition all of these programs to the virtual Zoom platform so we could safely continue providing support at a time that is especially stressful, as you can imagine, for someone who's already dealing with the increased anxiety of a cancer diagnosis in the family. And all on the virtual program in 2021, CSC South Bay served nearly 1,200 people with more than 16,000 visits to its free programs. We offered a total of 974 support and networking groups, 462 healthy lifestyle classes, and 834 individual counseling sessions. The core of our program is our weekly support groups for people with all types of cancer, as well as their families and caregivers. And all of our groups are facilitated by licensed therapists, but we offer so much more than that. We have networking groups that address different types of cancer. We have free workshops and lectures that we offer on pertinent topics where a guest speaker, like a doctor, will come and discuss the latest research and treatment options for specific types of cancer. And we have what we call healthy lifestyle programs, which are include like mind and body and stress reduction programs. And some of those include yoga, Tai Chi, guided meditation, and many more. We also have a kids community, which offers a support group and different creative activities for kids between the ages of 5 and 12 who have a relative or a friend who's been affected by cancer. We provide a Teens Connect group for teens, and we have groups for young adults as well. And we have individual counseling when it's needed. All of our programs are remaining on the virtual platform for now, but we're hoping to reopen very soon in-person programming, hopefully in the next month or so in the new space if all goes well. And I'll just give you a little bit more about our location change. We love the pier, but we had outgrown that space and we needed to have a space that would allow for future growth of the organization. And the Torrance location does provide us with 1,300 more square feet and provides easier access for our participants. It will also provide us with a large demo kitchen for cooking classes, which was a request from our participants who are always concerned with nutrition, as you can imagine, as it pertains to active cancer treatment. However, like I said, we will still plan to continue our longtime connection to the pier with outdoor programs such as the yoga on the pier one that I mentioned, and also Tai Chi. And so people are always asking a lot of times how how they can become involved and the ways that they can help. And of course, one of those ways is to spread the word about us to anyone you know that's been impacted by cancer. And you can also volunteer at our facility. When we reopen, we are always looking for people at the front desk, or of course at our fundraising events, like I mentioned. We have 2 major signature events that we do each year. One is our Celebrate Wellness event, which is held at the South Coast Botanic Garden. This year, that'll be in July. And then we also have our Girls Night Out event, which we are bringing back this year, and that'll be held in October. And coming up, we are the beneficiary of the Tour de Pier event, which is held in Manhattan Beach, and we're always looking for volunteers there. And of course, people who'd like to belong to our Legacy of Hope program and want to make us part of their estate planning, that's another way that they can help. So let me just say thank you again for letting me share about the cancer support community South Bay, and I'll turn it back to Nina. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Just very, very shortly, Friends of Redondo Beach Arts was founded in 2006. Our 2 big projects are California 101, which is an art exhibition, annual one. We have this year, it will be our 9th. It brings contemporary art from around the world to Redondo Beach. Our second is TEDx Redondo Beach. It's a great program. We're looking for volunteer. We're looking to come back to in-person event under TEDx Redondo Beach. We also give scholarship to Redondo Union High School students who wish to continue their education in the arts. In the past, we've held special concerts. We had 3 studio tours that were very successful, and we tried to take care of all the arts, not just the visual arts, so dance, music, and our big goal is to have a creative arts center in Redondo Beach. As you know, many of the cities around us have either a museum or a creative arts center, and we are striving to have one in our city that will serve the whole South Bay. It's wonderful to have you all here. It's wonderful to hear what we all do for the city we love, for the people who live here, and for the people who come to visit us. And I am now returning the meeting to Debbie. So we will get to the question and answer period. Thank you very much to all of you.
Yes, thank you, everybody. I'm as we've gone along, I've had so many questions that I didn't write everything down. So I know I'll have to get sparked as we start talking. I'm not sure that I'm a pro at coordinating questions when people have their hands up in Zoom. So I'm going to rely on you unmuting yourself and asking a question and muting back to see if I think this has been an absolutely fantastic networking meeting. I feel like it was so wonderful that we could share and that we could meet each other. I, for one, like for instance, Nancy, I'm like you, I had no idea that the Rotary Club, you know, did all that, or what all their main functions are and everything. So I think everyone that spoke tonight, it just opened up windows for me to realize how important it is for us as being involved in the community of Redondo right now to know each other. I feel like right now I could call Limor and I could call different people and say, oh, thank you so much for speaking, and we'd like to do this, and can you help me with this? And I feel like it's nice to put a face lots of times to our groups. That often connects us more than anything, and it takes away the fear and maybe the awkwardness that sometimes happens when we're trying to figure out how we can help and support each other. And it was already nice to see how many have already been involved in projects together. So I'm opening now to anyone, and looks like Nancy, you're first up.
You know, this was fascinating, because one of the things that we've been talking about in Rotary is we're in Redondo Beach. There's a lot more than what we do. And how do we, it's one thing for us to talk to another Rotary Club because we know what they're doing. And I was on a call just before this, and we were talking about interacting with other places. And what I found interesting was how much overlap there is in so much of what we do. And I'd love to find a way to take advantage of that overlap and work together more.